This is the Hyundai Ioniq 5.
And this is the Hyundai Ioniq 6.
And this is CarGuide.PH, and we'll be putting these two EVs head to head.
So yun, in this head-to-head, does it look like we are a bit biased again? You know, we were accused of that last time.
Well, yeah, as you can see from back there, it's like two Hyundai vehicles, but there's a reason for that because they're actually platform mates. Both of these vehicles ride on a bespoke EV platform called the eGMP.
Okay, that's interesting. I actually thought they were two different platforms. I mean, because visually, like as you can see, guys, visually they're different. You got one here that looks like a sports car and one here that looks like a family car.
That's absolutely right, but that is the beauty with EV platforms nowadays. As you will get closer, but the beauty with the eGMP platform, it's pretty much a skateboard platform. So Hyundai can be able to put whatever body style they want to put on top of it. So that's how amazing it is.
Okay, so let's start. I guess let's start with the first one, the Ioniq 5.
Yeah, this one started it all. This one is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. So as you can see, it's very boxy, it's very squarish. Hyundai calls it an SUV, or a crossover, but to be frank,
more of a wagon.
It's more of a wagon. I'd say even it's a mutated, enlarged hatchback. But whatever. Ground clearance is pretty ample, and it's supposed to be retro-futuristic in the sense that it's inspired by one of their earlier production cars called the Pony.
Oh, okay. And I think like following that retro look, you can see them on the other models like their Hydrogen and 74. I actually like the look compared to this one.
Yeah, this one's hyper-futuristic. It's sort of like a banana on wheels if you think about it, right?
Yeah. But I'll say this, when we're done editing, we'll see how it looks like on camera. But the press photos don't do it as much justice as seeing it in person. Kind of like the Mona Lisa. When you see it in in Google, it's like, okay, it's just a portrait of a girl. But like when you actually see it in person, and I've seen it in person, it's an amazing work of art. And like the Ioniq 6 follows that suit. You have to see it in person.
Yeah, it's amazing because both of these cars are actually a triple winner in the World Car Awards. They've won World Car of the Year, World Electric Vehicle of the Year, and World Car Design of the Year. So they may look a bit different, but critics all agree they are the best cars in the world during their respective years.
Oh, nice. So I guess since we don't have a GoPro right now, how was the drive of this one for you and how was the drive of this one for you? Because I think respectively, we have good time with both cars.
In terms of driving, I would have to say that the overall characteristic would be the same. They're both comfortable. Again, the beauty with having a bespoke platform is that everything is so optimized towards the electric motors and the battery. So both of them have amazing range. 451 kilometers on a single charge, not
no
liters.
All
yeah, and this one goes 545. So again, it's because of the shape. The banana shape lends it a very aerodynamic shape. It's one of the lowest coefficient of drag in production cars.
I think 0.21.
0.21, but this one's no slouch either. It's like 0.28 or something like that.
It's still really low.
So
like
bad,
SUVs at 30, on the
Exactly.
30 region. 0.3 region. I totally agree with you that they both feel similar. So if you're asking yourself which drives better, like it's the same. Like what you said, they're the same platform. They're going to feel the same. I guess in this case, if you're like between the two, it's going to be more for aesthetic, things that you find inside, stuff like that.
Both models have what Hyundai calls the parametric pixel design. It's a design element that they've pretty much adopted to their EVs. But next, you notice something with the front flaps of your
this
Ioniq
one.
6?
Oh yeah, they're open. This one. It was closed a while ago. This one.
Yeah, so I think the aero flaps are there for aerodynamic aid. So they only open up when the battery needs cooling. If it doesn't need cooling, it actually shuts down.
Okay, so if you're driving highway, and the battery doesn't need cooling, it stays closed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, aside from that, both of them ride on the 20-inch alloy wheels, but yours is much sportier. I mean, I understand some Ioniq 5 owners don't like the flower-like design of the Ioniq 5s, and I actually fall in that category. I actually like the 6's more sportier-looking rims.
Way better wheels. But that one, like after having it for almost 2 weeks, you grow to be okay with it. Okay with it.
Yeah, I know. And then, okay, finally, before we step inside, well, I have to say that the Ioniq 6 actually takes on the new Hyundai logo. If you notice, it's actually much flatter than the one.
I didn't notice that. I wonder if it's for aerodynamics.
I don't know. Maybe it shaves off like a bit of drag here and
Point
there.
zero
but-
zero 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 zero
Yeah,
one.
and maybe every little bit counts. So
Yeah.
there.
Okay. And then I guess let's go to the rears of the cars because that's also one of the like big differences. This is one thing I really appreciate. This tail light over here.
Yeah, the parametric design elements are actually put in display here. The Ioniq 5 that we have in the Philippines is still the pre-facelifted model. So one of the little gripes that I have with this car is that it doesn't have a rear wiper.
Oh yeah, you did mention that in your Ioniq 5N video.
Yeah, it's something that they actually fixed in the refresh, but for now, still no rear wiper. So yeah, Hyundai, what the hell? But
But I do appreciate the 8-bit design. Like it's retro and like it's a resurging styling, and I'd like to see more of it in like future cars.
yeah, I think that's the one that's completely opposite to what we find in the Ioniq 6.
Yeah.
Because instead of going retro, Hyundai's actually moved the design pretty forward. It's a bit drastic. Actually.
Yeah. And you know, like before anyone says it, I'll say it. Yeah, like it's very similar to a Porsche. You have this with ducktail.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This ducktail. 2 ducktails. I don't know if that has anything to do with aerodynamics.
Yeah,
but
again, it's all down to aerodynamics. I think they want to like wash off the airflow or something at
Yeah.
the back. So there are other nifty aero elements here at the back as well. They've added these little things toward the bumper and towards the rear part of the bumper as well. So these are all designed to cut aero drag as much as possible.
if you were to get a picture of this and then change the logo, you'd think it's like a Porsche.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be like sort of like emulating a brand, might as well make it a Porsche, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I guess this is where also, in terms of design, if they were really trying to cut like a drag coefficient, you will end up with a very similar design to others doing the same thing. And so before people go, oh, they're copycats. No, in achieving the aerodynamic requirements, you will end up with the same design. That's why planes look like very similar from each other.
So basically, you do end up with a banana on wheels.
Okay, so speaking of bananas, shall we enter the car now?
Well, I don't know what the connection with that is next, but all right, we'll start with the Ioniq 6
wait.
first.
Now that we're inside my car,
Your car, the Ioniq 6.
yeah, let's go with the basics and then the nitty gritty. So starting off, we have this 12-inch display, one here and one here. The one that is the instrument cluster and one that's the infotainment system. And I appreciate the pixel density in both. It's wonderful to look at.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sharp. I mean, Hyundai has pretty much invested in improving its infotainment system, so you can see their efforts with Ioniq 5 and 6. I think on both models you get the same sort of steering wheel,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
spokes, so it's quite different because we're used to like seeing 4-spoke or 3-spoke steering wheels.
Yeah.
This one only has 2, and it has a column shifter. So how do you find that one, Nix?
It's something to get used to, you know, but I mean, other brands have done it before and manual even. So,
That's true.
But I mean, I guess for Japanese cars, it was very conventional here. And for, I guess, like the American cars, it was conventional here. But I understand why they placed it here so that you can put more stuff here. So, just a matter of getting used to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that one. But what I liked about these two vehicles is that they put the steering wheel paddle shifters. In this case, because it doesn't have any gears, they work to either increase or decrease your brake regeneration.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they actually put it on the steering wheel. I mean, the Germans could use a thing or two because they like burying it in menus. With both vehicles, you can change it on the go. So for example, if you find yourself city driving, activate more regen. When you're on the highway, you can actually lessen.
Yeah, that's what I actually did this morning. So when I was on the highway, I lessened the regen. And then when I got to the city, I actually put it to I-pedal mode. So basically, you're able to run this car with one pedal. And like me, I've been doing it for a while with other models, so I'm familiar with it. But for those who are hesitant about it, give it a try. You'll be surprised because you really max out the range with it.
And then I think Nick's earlier we were talking about like what the 4 dots
Oh yeah,
in the steering wheel.
I was like here looking, but what is this? What is it, Yuli?
Well, it's actually the 4 dots actually means H in Morse code. So it's amazing how Hyundai was able to integrate that bit of element, and the 4 dots here is used to communicate certain settings of the car to the driver. So it tells you things like your charge indicator. It tells you when your driver assists are working. So
Oh, this
it's
one?
amazing. Yeah.
Like, it's color coded, I guess.
It's color-coded,
So I
yes.
guess check your owner's manual or the website for that. All I can say is what I do like about it, knowing that now it's like all about information, it's very discreet but very visible. On like a split second, you can tell whatever information it's telling. And I guess right now it's like an idle because it's like a light blue right now. Over here we have the air conditioning. What can you say about it?
Well, it's touch sensitive, so it's kind of hard to actually nail the buttons on the go here and there. But what I like about it is there are a couple of overrides. Like if you just press things on auto mode, you can set the auto mode in 3 ways. So there's like strongest
Oh,
or
yeah,
the
okay.
least. So there are 3 levels. So
Okay.
yeah, hitting like for example trying to adjust the temperature on the fly takes getting used to, but at least Hyundai was able to integrate like a single button auto mode, makes things a bit easier.
And then you did a mode the other day wherein like you can single out the driver. Where's that?
Well, that one is buried in the menu. So in both cases, these vehicles have modes so that you can increase your mileage or your range. So in this case, you just go to the climate system, and there's a way for you to actually turn off all the air conditioning system and just concentrate everything
That's
on the
awesome.
driver. So like this one.
Oh, driver only.
So doing so reduces the amount of energy
yeah.
that your car uses, thereby increasing your range.
Yeah, and like anecdotally this morning, when I blasted the aircon, the range was like 490, and then when I made the aircon low but both open, it went up to 500 plus.
Yeah,
So
545.
Yeah,
Hyundai
the
says
max, the
545,
max.
yeah.
But I mean, that's proof in the pudding that even just the aircon makes a big difference in power draw.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some studies that say that the using of an air condition, putting everything in the highest setting and all that, reduces your range by up to 15%. So it's a big deal.
Then the next thing I want to talk about is this lovely bridge console. I guess to start off, it has the wireless charging, the USB that connects to the infotainment system, nicely placed cup holders, and I guess the most controversial part of the bridge, the controls over here.
Yeah, the control to the windows and the doors. It's kind of weird because Hyundai said it's supposed to free up space on the doors and you can actually use and put stuff there. But I don't know what sort of stuff you can put in those like those.
And it's not
cubby
like
holes
and it's not like in other car designs where the window controls are here. Like you can still put stuff. So it's like, how much stuff are we talking about?
Yeah, so I guess the Hyundai gets like 10 plus 10 points and trying to add more cubby holes into the Ioniq 6, but they also get minus 10 points for the placement of the
Yeah.
window switches here.
Okay, so the controversial part of me, why I like it here, is so that you don't have to reach it on this side. That's one. And then two, like if it rains, pours, like there's no button that will be affected.
Yeah.
At least when it rains and the water goes in, it's like this is dry.
Yeah, if anything, I guess what Hyundai's been able to do is execute this nice ambient lighting there with a ridge-like pattern. So
Oh, yeah,
imagine if your power window switches were there, I don't think they'll been able to execute that.
That's
right?
true. Yeah. And then so like long story short, you have the lock and unlock here, the windows here, auto hold here, and then the window lock here. So like all the conventional stuff on the side, they were put here. So take it as you will. But another thing I love about it is such a huge storage space here.
Yeah, so for you ladies out there, if you travel with huge handbags and something, you can actually put them here.
Why just ladies, Yuli? Even men.
Oh yeah,
we have
fine. You can put your man purse in there. if you
yeah,
want to,
right. That's my man purse. But it's such a convenience because like instead of like putting it here at the back if you're alone, and if you're with someone, you have to put it somewhere. You have a personal space over here.
Well, that's true.
There's a lot of similarities, but the design is different.
The difference here, it has the same 12-inch infotainment, 12-inch digital gauge cluster, but Hyundai put in this little pad here where it's one of those, like, it works on static and you can put pieces of paper like you would in an office. But As to why you would want to bring your office to your car, I have no idea.
It's
and this
wasted
one,
space.
well, it's not wasted space. What I guess what Hyundai wanted to do is use much of the space as possible, and I think it's part of their concept to actually call the Ioniq 5 like a living room on wheels. So that works to their
Okay,
advantage.
I mean, if that was their direction, then that's a good implementation.
Well, yes, but the only thing is with this test drive unit has done close to 15,000 kilometers, and the static
ran out.
kind of ran out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you could keep on rubbing it. If it'll
Oh yeah,
come
but
back in.
okay, like it also has the Morse code over here.
Yes, this is the old implementation of the H Morse code design, but this one doesn't light up. Again, in the newer Ioniq 5s, which I don't know when the Philippines will get, this one also lights up.
Oh, nice. And then moving there, just like the Ioniq 6, it's what do you call it?
Column
Stock
shift.
column shifter over here, and then basically the same aircon system over here, same screen, same pixel density, and then a more conventional pattern over here.
Yes, but okay, it may look conventional, but get this, guys. This one slides out like a
Oh,
paper.
yeah.
Again, it's a very living room
Yeah,
design
yeah.
concept, so.
Oh, so IKEA, if I might have to
Oh
say.
no, but Akeia is Swedish, so whatever the Korean.
Yeah, the Korean version is. But I actually find this more convenient because like when you put your stuff here on a layout, it doesn't like slide in and out. Unlike the conventional glove box, if you put it down, it's like everything starts to drop.
That's quite true. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's quite spacious because
Yeah.
if you see in the bottom, that's like a letter-sized paper right there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
very
it can fit.
very living room.
It's very living room, right? And of course, in the middle, you can see that I was able to fit my my jug here filled with water.
Okay, yeah, water.
So yes, it was able to fit. So imagine you'll be able to fit two of these. This is probably like 600 ml, 500 ml.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad. This is one of the niftier design features of the Ioniq 5. They call it the Universal Island, and you can actually slide the mid-center console.
And this is actually like a controversial topic because if you watched Yuli's video of the Ioniq 5N, this
one's fixed. Yeah.
This one can move, and I've seen other people try this car, and they actually love this feature. You know, like because like for the ladies over there, they can put their pretty big handbags over here, and if they have small handbags, they can put it over here. It's just very versatile, and I think it follows the theme of this car.
Yeah, the living room style, right? I guess if I have a little bit of complaint is that if you want to connect your phone, this version of the Ioniq 5 still doesn't have any wireless CarPlay. So if you want to do it, you have to plug in your phone using the USB right here. This one only works as a charger.
Yes,
so,
yeah. I was about to say that. Like my also gripe is that if you want to connect to the infotainment system, it's like why not here?
Yes, I mean, but at least the wireless charging is here. So I guess there's one of the little limitations because you would want your phone as much as closer to you so you won't forget it. And we're not saying that you're supposed to be driving while distracted. So, but what you want is to put the phone near you so you won't forget it, right?
Yeah, but I guess in that thought also, then it actually might be a good idea to force the driver not to look at their phone and to put it down there. So, like, you know, it's something to get used to.
Yeah, but all of you naughty boys out there will probably like, be doing this while you're driving. So I don't know. Okay, I'm still.
Just so that we're with realistic expectations, I haven't moved this seat over here, and as you can see, I have a lot of leg room.
Again, that's the beauty of having a bespoke EV platform. You're able to make a flat floor both for the front and the rear.
Yeah, and a lot of
As
headroom too.
Well, that's one advantage actually. We're going to be getting into the Ioniq 6 later, but the biggest advantage of the Ioniq 5 is headroom.
Yeah, and I guess because of its inherent shape that it's like flat on the top.
Yep.
Something familiar. And then like I guess conventional, you have two USB ports over here for charging. And then you have these map holders over here.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of a problem here is that the aircon vents are only limited to the side here, to the pillars. That's actually one of the issues with implementing the universal island design is that they can't put the air conducting here. So yeah, it still has rear aircon vents, but for some of you who'd like to have their crotches
Cooled. No
you
better way to say it.
yeah, you won't be able to experience it with this one. So
No, but
yeah.
like for me, I actually like this implementation better. I think more cars should do this, where the aircon vents here, because it hits more of the body. Unlike if it's down here, it's more on the crotch.
Yeah, but what if you want your crotch cooled?
That's why you get a crotch vent or something.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, aside from that, the seats actually recline, and
what?
yeah, they do actually recline. So again,
Oh, here.
the living room.
Oh
so,
my
yeah,
God.
they recline a lot.
Oh my god.
And one of the bigger advantages of the Ioniq 5 over the 6 is that you can actually slide it forward
What?
and backward too.
What?
Yeah, so imagine that.
Oh wow.
Imagine that you'll be able to put longer stuff in your
Yeah.
trunk space without having to compromise on
I didn't know
having to fold them down.
And see, that's why it's nice to also talk with other people about the car, because sometimes you spend on the driver's seat too much, you forget about this other stuff. But this is so convenient for your passengers also.
Yeah, also, again, it's got rear sunshades as well. I don't think it's something that's found in the 6. I may be wrong.
We'll find
but
out
yeah.
later. But it, you know, when I only heard about the living room concept, and that being said, I'm really impressed what Hyundai has done.
Yeah, I'd
Really.
probably say it's even better than my own house's living room at this point.
Definitely better than mine. Okay, I guess that's about. Oh wait, and let's see how they come. Oh
Of course,
yeah,
the usual armrest with cup holders.
yeah, but this is more like size restricting than the one in the front.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to put my mystery
Yeah.
container right there. Yeah, you won't. be able
Guys,
to fit it.
comment down below what's inside that jug. Okay, so that's about it. And I guess with that being said, let's hop into it's not my Ioniq 6, but the car I've been using for quite some time now. Let's go. We're here in the Ioniq 6 now, and as you can see, when it comes to headroom, it's already messing with my hair. Oh,
Again, I have a gelled hair, so I don't even want to lean back because for fear like I might have to like redress my hair
my
after
God,
the
no.
scene. If you're a small person, it should be okay. But yeah, if you're a bit tall, yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
I'm 6 foot and like, if I sit upright, I'm already, as you can see, I'm already hitting the ceiling pretty bad.
I'm not even close to being 6 feet tall, but yeah, my head actually still brushes.
Yeah. So, like, this is from that already, you can tell from the living room setup, you're now in the sports car territory.
Yeah, for the Ioniq 6, Hyundai supposedly took a different approach. They call this more of a cocooning space. So cocooning meaning it's more personal, but because of the way they designed it, the use of colors, for example, and lighting, it's also supposed to be more relaxing than it is serious.
Oh, that one, I'll give it that. Like right now, I had it on blue, and it does add to the vibe of the drive. And then here you have your crotch vents over here, Yuli.
Yeah, so you don't get your vents here. It's back to its usual position here because for the Ioniq 6, you don't get that sliding center console. This one, it's just a fixed bridge.
What I do appreciate, like what I said a while ago, like I don't like aircon vents down here, but I do appreciate that they angle it towards the body. If you notice other manufacturers, you just put it, but it's like aiming straight or down because of the design. So for this design, I actually like it. And then here you also get Type-C USB port chargers, which I think is the way to go. And then here, just like the other one, you have a armrest over here with conventional cup holders.
Yeah, so this is like a small cup. The usual, what you get in
8 ounce, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 8 ounce cup, and it fits right there.
Yeah. And then, well, one thing I do appreciate is like they have controls over here. So if you're sitting here, you can actually control these seats to move forward and backward.
Yeah, it's a very Korean thing actually. I've seen those sort of controls in other Hyundai models also, but yeah, so it's designed so that you'll be able to move the front seat forward and backward.
Yeah, so if this
imagine
is a
you're
chauffeur car,
Yeah,
right?
if you're like a chauffeur, you'll be able to move the front seat and back without you having to step out of the car.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't know what sort of
Yeah, you
guy would want to be chauffeured in a car that would probably chop your head off.
And that actually drives like, you know, a sport. I'm putting parentheses here, like a sports car.
Well, it does drive a bit like a sports car because it is rear-wheel drive, a standard. So yeah, you gotta give it that.
Okay, I'll give it that.
We'll do numbers right now. They have the same sort of electric motor. Torque is the same. They both make 350 Newton meters. The Ioniq 6 makes slightly more power, 10 horsepower. So that's negligible, but 227 to 217.
Yeah, but those are actually good numbers for with these kinds of cars.
Yeah, you've probably hammered it on the expressway. You probably know.
Hammered it at the 80. That's the Skyway rule. But the acceleration was unbelievable. That one, I'll say. And that's the advantage of EV cars. So, like what we said, these two cars, they drive similarly. So, when you floor it, you're going to feel exactly the same. And I guess the Ioniq 5N, it's a league of its own.
Well, yeah, the Ioniq 5N is something way different because it has almost triple the power. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
And fun fact, I've never seen Yuli curse so many times.
But it's all bleeped out, so.
Yeah, so don't worry. But so, coming from here, I wish the Ioniq 5 implemented this. Because I can see myself being chauffeured in that car. And it's kind of, not naman sad, but lost opportunity to not have that. But yeah, other than that, it's cramped here. These two having different bodies, we should talk about the trunk. And, because that's a very big consideration because one's a wagon, one's like a sports car. But
So-
despite being a sports car,
Electric streamliner. That's what you
okay,
want to call
electric
it.
streamliner, it's a pretty generous cargo space, as you can see over here.
Yeah, golfers out there will be able to put stuff. Nix, what's with this overnight bag? Where are you going?
Hi, Melay. I'm actually going to a road trip right after this. And considering that the travel going there is almost 300 kilometers there and 300 kilometers back, I am confident that the car will make it. So here's hoping. Very generous when it comes to space. That's what you have to know. Unlike other cars, so like the Porsche, it's an engine.
Yeah.
But in this case, because it's an EV, it has the advantage for having a huge trunk.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, you can still probably put a body or two in there.
Yeah.
If you're
like-
into that sort of
yeah,
thing.
even if in that position, you'll fit two big bodies over there. Okay, so speaking of like bodies, let's check the wagon, the Ioniq 5.
So this one is pretty much a crossover design element. So yeah, here you go.
Yeah. What I'm noticing right now is that the Ioniq 6, the trunk is deeper. Yeah, like 5-6 inches deeper for the Ioniq 6. But this one seems like wider.
Yeah, I think it's wider, and the beauty with this sort of design is you can actually put taller items. So even bulkier bags will be able to fit.
Yeah. Unlike
quicker,
that one, you cannot stack
easier.
anymore. Like
Yeah.
you can only stack up to this, but this one you can stack all the way as much as you want. And that one you can fold the seats down. It looked like it.
Yeah, you can. Okay, that's the thing. The Ioniq 6, I just noticed this right now, but the Ioniq 6, you'll be able to drop the seats from here, from where you're standing. With this one, you can't. You have to go all the way to the rear door and then collapse the seat in
Very
a 60/40
family car.
split, right? So
But
that's
missed
one
opportu-
weakness.
Missed opportunity.
Well, no, this one I think is for the cover.
Yeah, but I mean you can put the the one touch button or something.
Yes, you gotta put like one touch buttons or something, or like even a lever here, right? Another thing that the Ioniq 6 has is that you're able to lock the cars while you're here by the trunk. You can't do it here. It's only to open and close the power tailgate.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. What else?
Well, in both cases, the understorage, there is a generous amount of understorage right here. So there's no spare tire on both models, but you can put things like your charger, your tire mobility kit, your V2L plug. You can put everything under there.
Yeah, that one it's less generous. And then I guess it goes without saying that since the years are both EVs, they both have the same or similar frunk.
Yes, they do have frunks. And personally, that's where I put the emergency charger so I can maximize the space of the trunk. But it's up to you. I mean, that's the
and
beauty
for
of it.
me, I like to put my bag there so that it's a nice party trick with your date. It's like, let me get my things on where the engine is supposed to be.
Well, with the Ioniq 6, it kind of works because if it looks like a Porsche, you can pretty much copy
true.
like you have your trunk in the front.
Okay, now with that, all that said, we did talk about our driving experiences of both. We can come up with our conclusion. Traditional head-to-head, Yuli. Which car would you pick?
Well, I always value my EV with practicality. I'm not going to buy it completely just for the range, so my choice would be the Ioniq 5.
Interesting because I did have a list of like my favorite cars and this was one of them. And then when I drove this for the past few days, I'm like, oh, this is really good. But then seeing this again, this really has something. There's just something about it that it's able to do everything.
I mean, you do sacrifice a bit more in terms of range, 545 versus 451, but if you've invested in a home charger or you know your way around the fast chargers of Metro Manila or those surrounding Metro Manila, 451 is a lot. You will not be able to lose any charge.
And for something like this, if you're in the range of like, oh, you're fighting for like 100 or 200 kilometers, then that's where you start deciding, yeah, I need more range. But on the 450 mark, I mean, where would you go 450 kilometers every day, right?
That's true. I mean, even going up to Baguio one way, it's 283. So that's enough charge to go to Baguio. There's a fast charger in Baguio. Top it up, and then you can
go somewhere else. So, with that being said, it'll be a difference between if you want to be seen in a sporty-looking car or you want to be seen in a wagon / crossover / SUV. And I guess as a driver, I don't really care what I'm seen in. So I would really be gravitating towards the Ioniq 5. But if you're looking for a sporty-looking EV that drives really well, this is it. So yeah, like that's a conclusion. I guess between the two, it looks like we're both in agreement with the Ioniq 5.
Yeah, I guess the bottom line here is that Hyundai is allowing you or giving you the power of choice. Whether you like a crossover, you like a sedan, they both are offering it. And in fact, if you want something that's even more high performance, they're also offering something as well.
Yeah, and I really want to test that car. So Hyundai Philippines, hello, the Ioniq 5N. Okay guys, thanks for watching me reach this far. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we'll see you on the next video.